Elon Musk has harsh words for New York City, and those words have to do with the way how many New York wood-fired restaurants make their pizzas. The city has just issued new rules to reduce carbon emissions by restaurants. They affect restaurants using wood-fired ovens like pizzerias, and it did not escape Elon Musk's attention. And if you have been in New York City and tried their wood-fired at least $1 pizzas, you know how great they are. Anyway, I'm about to tell you what Musk said about NYC's new pizza rules. But first, welcome back to Torque News YouTube channel, everyone. And if you are here first time, please subscribe to this channel for daily Tesla electric vehicle news, and I would greatly appreciate your support. So New York City has a bad surprise for wood-fired pizza fans. In the next few weeks, they might get a message, the fans, from their favorite pizzerias in New York City, announcing that they have changed the way they cook their pizzas. The New York City Department of Environmental Protection has proposed new rules concerning the use of wood-fired ovens. The agency wants restaurants using wood-fired ovens to reduce their carbon emissions by 75%. The goal of the new rules issued on June 23, just a week ago or so, is to tackle a big contribution to air pollution. Here's a quote I want to read for you. All New Yorkers deserve to breathe healthier air, and wood and coal-fired stoves are among the largest contributors of harmful pollutants in neighborhoods with poor air quality, the DEP said in an email statement. This common sense rule, developed with restaurants and environmental justice groups, requires a professional review of whether installing emission controls is feasible. End of the quote. The New York Post was first to report about the proposed new rules. They require restaurants that have coal and wood burning stoves installed prior to 2016 to have a professional review by an architect or engineer as to whether installing emission controls is feasible in their building setup. If it's not feasible to retrofit the building or stove, the restaurants won't have to. If it is feasible, they will. We think this rule will affect less than 100 restaurants. Elon Musk said it won't make a difference. The New York City initiative has not escaped Elon Musk, the billionaire CEO of electric vehicle manufacturer Tesla. Musk, one of the most influential and powerful voices in the environmental sphere, has in recent months attacked initiatives, projects, and rules that are intended to combat climate change, but that he considers to be limited effectiveness. Note that this change may affect only 100 restaurants in the entire New York City, and I don't know how many thousands of restaurants are in New York City. For example, Musk has just asserted that agriculture is not as harmful for climate change as some environmental activists claim. And you know how much Elon Musk has contributed in the environment, right? He said, important to note that what happens on Earth's surface, example farming, has no meaningful impact on climate change, the billionaire said on June 24. Overwhelmingly, the risk of climate change is due to moving billions of tons of carbon from deep underground into the atmosphere, Musk said. Activists believe, however, that farmers worldwide contribute greatly to climate change through two gases less known to the public than carbon dioxide. Meanwhile, which is emitted by ruminants, is considered the second largest contributor to the greenhouse effects after CO2. It is said to be a powerful but short-lived climate pollutant that accounts for about half of the net rise in global average temperatures since the pre-industrial era, according to the Global Methane Pledge. As for the new rules on wood-fired ovens in New York and their environmental impact, Musk has just launched a scathing critique of these measures to make people think about whether these measures really will help. For Elon Musk, who has promised that a sustainable energy economy is possible, these measures won't change anything in the environment. They are simply posturing, he seems to say, And you know these things are going to add to the cost of mom and pop businesses making pizzas on WoodFired in New York. Musk said this is utter BS. I'm sorry. Musk said the proposed new rules on June 26 on Twitter, it won't make a difference to climate change. And you know New York City isn't alone. The city council passed a law in 2015 known as Local Law 38 that requires restaurants with wood burning and coal burning stoves to install equipment to dramatically reduce emissions. The law went into effect in 2016, so all restaurants with these stoves from 2016 and later are required to have specialized emissions control. The rules were supposed to be issued by 2020, but because of the pandemic, it was delayed. The proposed rules are subject to public comment now. Friends, nothing has been enacted yet. That's the good news. Before New York, many Western cities, such as Montreal, took steps to better regulate the use of wood-fired ovens, which are used to bake bagels, chicken, and pizzas, among other things. And you know, when it's wood-fired, it smells much better, it tastes much better. The taste is totally different. A 2019 report from the Health Authority in Montreal, Direction Régionale de Santé Publique, concluded that exposure to fine particles emitted by wood-fired ovens can harm people's health. The complex mixture of pollutants emitted by rotisseries, pizzerias, and other restaurants that opt for this traditional cooking method can in particular contribute to the worsening of respiratory diseases, including asthma, the study said. I didn't know wood smoke could do asthma. I don't know, I'm not a doctor. Official data indicated that commercial wood cooking was responsible for only about 3% of all fine particle emissions in Montreal. The town of San Vitaliano in Italy went so far as to ban wood-fired ovens with the exception of those fitted with a filter to considerably reduce the quantity of fine particles emitted into the atmosphere. So what do you think about this, friends? Yes to wood-fired pizzerias? Yes to wood-fired food, or no? I would like to hear your comments in the comment section below. And if you have been in New York City and not tried their $1 pizza, it's only $1 a slice, but it has great taste, and you usually can see lines of people standing for $1 pizza. So do you agree with Elon Musk and his assessment of the situation? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Let's have a discussion. God bless you, everyone. I'll see you soon in our next report. This is Armin Harayan from TalkNews.com. Have a great day.